Hey everyone, Jason here, aspiring entrepreneur, and thank you. Thank you so much because today's accomplishment would not have been possible without you watching, without you subscribing, and most importantly, without your kind comments and support over this past year and a half of just content video after content video after content video, because today finally crossed the huge milestone of 5,000 subscribers. I've been working towards this for over a year and a half now. I just cannot believe we finally crossed that mark. I know that there's different subscriber levels depending on kind of what niche you're in or what you think is considered successful. But for me, with this project and this channel, that number, 5,000, that was my number. That was my number to say, you know what? I might actually have value that other people care about. And so 302 videos later, a little over 500,000 views, and we are still going strong. And wow, okay, this is the part where I'm not quite sure what to say other than thank you. I'm super pumped up, and because past accomplishments always lead clues to future success, I'm gonna go ahead and dive into my time blocks. I'm gonna take a look at all my channel analytics, and I'll come back to you guys with 3 to 5 tips that I pulled out that I think will be helpful to you to really shortcutting the process so you can get to 5K subs in a lot less than a year and a half. Right, research done. Let's go ahead, dive into 5 insights that I pulled out of my analytics. I do want to preface this by saying I think it's really important to watch videos like this one of small creators like myself, and then also watch videos of larger creators, because there's going to be some similarities in what we say has worked or hasn't worked for us, but there's also going to be some pretty big differences. And I think those differences are where you're going to find your kind of special growth hacks, if you will, of how to be successful, because I think the perspective that I'm going to have is very different than obviously someone who has 100 or 200K subs. But personally, I found it very valuable to watch small players and big players and then look at the differences, and those differences on what's worked for small people and versus what's worked for larger players, whether you're looking at YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, building sales funnels. I think those differences are really where you're going to find the golden nuggets of information and some pretty good growth hacks. So I just wanted to kind of say why I think it's important to look at small creators like myself and big creators and bigger marketers. So the first thing is number of occurrences. Definitely looking at the data when it comes to YouTube, and this is probably pretty clear, the more videos you post, the better off you are going to be. And this is actually going to tie into the tip number 2, but I just wanted to show you this graph. This graph shows that giant spike in July is when I did 60 videos in 30 days. And I think that's really where the channel was finally put on the map. I doubled the subscriber count in about 32 days. I think I went from 200 something to 400 something in that short period of time. Now, obviously, that is insane, right? 60 videos in 30 days. That was just my way of saying, you know what? I'm gonna get this channel up and running and get a large content library of videos so that when someone comes to my small channel, I wanted them to have the impression of, oh, this guy's small, but he's serious, versus when you go to most small channels, and this is just because this is what my channel was like the first 6 months, is you go, oh, okay, this guy has 50 or 100 subs and he only has a few videos. Oh, okay, cool. I don't really know if he's serious or not. Whereas the more content you have in the beginning and the faster you can put it out, of course, this is an assumption. I'll get into the algorithm in a second. Is that when people visit your channel, it's a really quick and easy way to show that you're serious and you're going to be producing content for quite a while, especially if you follow tip number 4 that I'll get to towards the end. And when it comes to the algorithm, so that's the kind of brand perception side. And then when it comes to the algorithm, I've seen a lot of larger creators talk about consistency. Just post consistently, post consistently. You want to trigger that YouTube algorithm. You want to prove to YouTube that your channel's worth it. And I gotta say, I don't really buy that. I really don't buy that. I really think it's the number of videos you have versus how often you post. Because the more videos you have, the more likely it is that your channel is going to continue to rack up watch time and new subscribers and new views. And that kind of engagement is what YouTube's looking for on your channel. Not necessarily that, okay, you posted 5 videos a week for a month, but hey, no one really watched, versus I posted 20 videos 2 months ago, and they're getting a bunch of likes and subscribes and engagement. And so I think number of occurrences is something we actually talked about a lot when we were in trading. Is just it's not necessarily trying to make a perfect video every single time. It's trying to get a large enough content of videos to start that momentum. And I think, as you can see in the chart, that this is really something that helped propel this channel forward, is getting all of those videos out, and then that content library is what allowed the subscriber growth to begin to snowball. And speaking of the content library, the next tip I have is the 80-20 principle is real. And so I think this is again why that kind of content blitz is so important in getting your library up. And that is because, as you can see from this pie chart, 5 videos account for 35% of the subscribers that I've gained directly from a video. Obviously, YouTube doesn't tell you exactly how many subscribers comes from each video. I'm just looking at video watch pages and how many subscribers that video watch page provided. And so this is like 80-20 on steroids. I mean, this is 35, 60, 65 essentially, where 5 videos, and of those 5 videos, 4 of them were posted during those content blitz. And I'll get to that in a second as well. So 5 videos account for 35% of the new subscribers to this channel. I don't know about you, but I think that's insane. And so one of the things you can do when you look at this is go, okay, all I have to do is make those 5 videos, right? But I think this is another trap small creators like myself fall into, and this is something that I fell into pretty hard the first like 6 to 9 months that I was trying out this whole YouTube thing. Is I kept trying to figure out what video is going to be one of those 5. I kept trying to make one of those 5 videos. And really, when it comes to figuring out which one of those 5 videos are, there's just no way. There's really no way to know. Like I said, 4 of those 5 videos were posted during that content blitz that I showed you in this graph here. And if I had looked at all 60 videos and you asked me to choose which 4 or 5 that I thought were going to do the best, 5 out of 6 of the top were posted in that time period as well, I would not have chosen any of the videos that are in these 5 right now. And I think that just proves that it doesn't matter how much research you do, it doesn't matter how many tactics or great videos you make, there's no concrete way to know which video is going to be the most valuable to your target audience, which video is actually going to take off, which video just so happens to be shared in a Facebook group and propels sky high, which is what happened to my Udemy video. For a while, I had no idea why the views, I think it was the second or third video I posted, it's terrible audio, right? I think it's one of the worst videos ever, but it's number 2. It's number 2 here. It's the 6.5% video in red. Even though it's I think it's a terribly produced video, it still brings in a ton of subscribers. And that was simply because it got shared in a Udemy Facebook group and it went like this. I had no control over that, right? I didn't have any control over that. But what I do have control over, and what you do have control over, which is number 3, has to do with ranking. So search rankings. Now, we all know that the first 24 to 48 hours of posting a video is pretty important, right? And I actually found through my keyword research, I'll just throw in there, that the software keywords actually performed really well for me. So if you're looking at keywords to go after, looking at branded keywords or doing reviews seem to be really helpful in terms of getting this channel off the ground. So when it comes to ranking videos, other than what I'm going to talk about in tip number 5, SEO is really one of the only things that you can do to significantly influence how your video performs. And as you can see here, SEO is actually the second best traffic source. There's a little note on the external traffic because I had to dive into that and to figure out why the heck external traffic was so high. But really, external traffic is actually all from this July period where there was a huge spike. I was testing some Fiverr people to drive real views to my videos, and I'll tell you, I did a video on that. It was an absolute disaster, screwed up my analytics like this, and apparently a bunch of fake views came from a Safari browser on one particular person that I worked with, even though they told me that they weren't going to send robots. And I think that destroyed like 5, it only destroyed 5 videos, right? But those 5 videos are never going to see the light of day because YouTube knows that a bunch of robots were sent to them, and my analytics are forever screwed up. So there you go. Don't just be really careful with who you work with promoting your videos. But hey, lesson learned. But I'll get to that number 5. So here you could see that YouTube SEO search traffic is actually the second highest source. And I found that as soon as I started focusing on SEO, which is after July, you see SEO grew and so did suggested videos. So even though I can't directly I can't directly influence, there we go. I can't directly influence the suggested video count. What I can do is I can do everything in my power to optimize the video that I'm posting for SEO. And you can check out the channel. There's a complete hour-long live stream replay up there where I go through all the SEO tactics that I use. But just saying, SEO is really important, and I think it's something that's highly, highly underrated. Even though a lot of larger creators keep saying SEO doesn't matter, it does. It does. It makes a difference, especially for a small channel like mine. So now we have tip number 4 that isn't necessarily backed up by any research, but I think it's really important when you are looking at growing your channel or growing your audience or brand. I think it's really important to think about how much engagement or how much of an attachment you want to have with your audience. For example, in the make money online space or digital marketing space that I'm in, most people who are vlogging are just kind of doing all of the hype make money stuff, in my humble opinion. And I think that there's a power, no matter what kind of channel you have, to tap into just having a certain section of your channel to be where you just talk about whatever, right? Like this vlog, I like talking about the technical stuff. So that's what I talk about, right? I think there's a lot talked about in terms of being authentic and genuine with your audience, but I really don't see a whole lot of it put into practice. I just see it talked about, and I see a lot of talking the talk, but not really walking the walk. And so to show you walking the walk, one of the other things that I do is I do reply to every single comment. So I took a screenshot earlier today. You can see there's over 1,000 threads filtered here. And using TubeBuddy, I filter by what comments I haven't replied to. I've replied to everyone, and because I'm just that much of an OCD person, I have followed up with every single comment that's come onto the channel. So if anyone has ever commented, unless over a year, I think TubeBuddy doesn't go back over a year. So within, I should add that asterisk, within a rolling 12-month period, I have replied and commented to every single person who's engaged and interacted with this channel, even trolls, which I think is a whole nother video how to deal with those people. But man, are they just mean. It doesn't matter what you say. They are just out to make you feel crummy. But either way, follow up with everyone. I think even if you don't do a vlog, this is the other way that I see a lot of, especially small creators, just they'll post a video, even if you only have one comment, reply to that person. They made a comment, right? I mean, this is a social platform. Be social. And so tip number 5 is going to be something that I hardly ever see suggested, and yet I think it's one of the most powerful things that you can do to help grow your channel. And if I were to go do this over again, I would actually probably post less videos and go get more clients so I could pay to do this. And this is using YouTube ads. Because for $10 a video, you can get 250 to 500 targeted real people who actually care about the content you have to watch your video. And of course, if you do that within the first 24 to 48 hours, you're improving your overall video performance in the long term. It's gonna help with your search ranking. It's gonna help with YouTube suggested. Obviously, if the video is not that great, the watch time is gonna be low and it's not gonna be promoted by YouTube organically in the future. However, within a 24-hour period, for $10, you immediately get feedback on how your video is doing. And I think shortening that feedback loop when you're just getting started and you're a small creator is just an invaluable resource, because number one, you get a bunch of views, real views to your video very quickly, and it helps you get out of that YouTube black hole. Because when I would post videos, I get 5 or 10 views and then that'd be it, right? Because I only had 10 subscribers. So, 5 or 10 views and that's it. And 250 to 500 views doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot in the context of having 500, even 1,000 subscribers. You're not always going to get those numbers of views organically. So that's number one. And then number two, of course, is that feedback loop that I mentioned, where you immediately know how that video performed, and you can look at where people dropped off, which is something that I don't do too much. I just kind of look at, did this video do well or not? Should I make another video that's similar to it? And that's kind of how you can quickly find those topics that are going to be one of your 5 key videos. And so this is just a example screenshot of one of the many YouTube ad tests that I've shared with you guys, that it really is possible, especially if you go back and watch the older vlogs where I go through all this YouTube ad stuff. I mean, it really is possible. For 10 bucks, you get 250 to 500 targeted views. And I think for some reason, a lot especially in the creator space, in the marketing space, everyone's like, oh yeah, just use ads, drive a bunch of traffic, get some leads, get some sales, whatever. But in terms of the creator space, there seems to be this stigma around paying for views or paying to run YouTube ads. And really there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be, because your YouTube channel is part of your business, it's part of your brand. And unless you want to go through the arduous process of just posting, and waiting until you get that small snowball rolling into effect to get that organic search, you can just throw 5 or 10 bucks down and kind of shortchange that process. And I think it would significantly decrease the amount of time it takes for you to actually start seeing month over month consistent subscriber growth, as opposed to what I had, where I was pretty much like this for the first 6 months, even though I was posting 1 or 2 videos a week. And so those are my top 5 tips for growing the channel based upon how I've grown to 5,000 subs. So I realize I'm looking at the time here. This was another long video, so I hope you got some value out of it. If you have any questions about growing your YouTube channel or how this might apply to growing other social platforms, because I think number of occurrences and just paying a small amount to get your content out there is definitely worth it, no matter what social platform you are going after. So I sincerely hope that you got some value out of this particular vlog. Thank you again for all of the support. This would not be possible without you. So go ahead and comment below if you have any questions. Hit that like button. And as always, you know what to do. Keep building the business you love. Take care.